Alright, Red Dragon, Green Crescent, playing part of the Red Dragon scenario. Sequence of play, actually first. Continue on. Alright. Queen of Diamonds. Multi-role helicopter, nomenclature Z9. Various main weapon range, okay. Main weapon, various guns, rockets, and missiles. So that is a Chinese Z9 multi-role helicopter. Alright, sequence of play. Red Dragon, Green Crescent is played in a sequence of phases. The outline, okay, and each time phase 6 is completed, one turn has passed. Play then reverts back to phase 1 and the sequence begins again. Repeat this sequence until one player wins, or until random event 35-36 forces a draw game, or until the PRC player has completed 30 ops, whichever comes first. And then that, well, I guess I need to make a photocopy of this ops completed tracker for PRC and allied ops completed. I don't have that yet, but I need to do that. A sequence of play PRC, first player random event check, I can do that. Tens and ones. Alright, 42. Oh, or random events universal or random events scenario specific. It sure seemed like they should be scenario specific. Alright, what do we got under the scenario? We've got Red Dragon Rising scenario. It's chapter 13 of the rules. We have setup and control. We have setup order. We have U.S. and Allied setup and reinforcement pool. Neutral nations setup. PRC setup. Note that the PRC player may choose a star 1 or both of his 2 @CSSN units in any sea zones on the map, including those zones already containing U.S. naval units. So I was wondering about this. I guess my PRCSS and my PRCSSN, I set them up, one in the SS in the East China Sea and the SSN in the South China Sea. I guess they really could have been set up anywhere. But I'll leave them there for now. Control East Asian map geographic peculiarities. This is another thing I was wondering about. This Hainan Island here, I was wondering what to do with it. It's just considered part of this southern China land area. No difference. Oh, and the islands of Guam and Saipan, right there, on the edge of the screen there, considered one landmass. There's another thing I was wondering. Yeah, considered one land area. Then we have scenario variants. We have quite a number of them, actually. Then we have PRC defeat. Oh, turns aren't recorded as such in this game. Instead, players should openly keep track of each op completed using that tracker I just showed a couple minutes ago. If the PRC player has completed 30 ops without achieving any type of victory, the game ends immediately, and the US player is declared the winner. That's interesting. So the PRC player needs to win. Actively win. I like that, actually. For real life purposes. I like that. Alright, then we have PRC sudden death victory, PRC sudden death defeat, PRC victory on points. We have a table there with quite a number of different VP objectives and conditions. US victory, conceding defeat, draws. Random event 3536 may end the game in a draw, as we already mentioned. Okay, standard victory, variable victory conditions. That's interesting. Ooh, I like that. That's an optional rule, but I like that. I like the sound of that a lot. Random events, okay. So I guess they are by scenario. So I have a random events section. I rolled a 42, 42, 42, 42. All right, random event 41, 42, and 43. The PRC Corporation running the Panama Canal blocks that critical transit route. PRC player scores 1 victory point. If this random event is rolled again, treat it as no event. So, victory points. How do you keep victory points? Well, I guess I'll use my notepad here, but I don't see a victory track. I don't see a victory point track, which is interesting because you have so many other boxes and all right. I'll do this anyways. All right, Red Dragon Rising, turn 1. Yep, Panama Canal blocks. Okay. All right. Then we're going to go back to random event resolution if called for by a die roll. PRC first player ops. See notes 1 and 2 below. Generally, one op may be played on each map. We're just playing this one here. Second ops can be played in the same. Okay. All right. So ops. Got the you do have the table of ops on the map, but it's on the other. It's on that far corner. So conducting operations. Each time the PRC first player begins phase 3, that's where we are now in the sequence play, he should announce to his opponent which op he'll be conducting at that time. You know, this is one thing I was thinking about in a redo of this game, is maybe plotting a certain number of ops. But anyways, that's for another time. I want to play the game, of course, as designed here. Alright, he should opponent which op he'll be conducting at that time. The US second player must do the same each time he begins phase 6. Alright, neither player may ever conduct operations listed as being available only to the other player, and some ops are listed as possible only by some specific nationalities. Unless otherwise noted, US and allied units may freely interoperate. Alright. Op number 1, and there are a lot of them, but bring ally into a war. This op may be performed by the PRC player during a campaign game for under 2 cases. Well, what do you do if it's not a campaign game? Alright, maybe it doesn't apply. Op 2, start war in Korea. Op 3, move PRC ground. No, I don't want to move PRC ground. Airborne air assault against Taiwan. Oh, that's interesting. So Taiwan is actually a whole operation. Central China, and you invade from central China, which is where I've got all these forces. This is southern China. Up here is northern China. Bomb Taiwan. This op may only be conducted by the PRC player, but he may do so any number of times per game. To do so, he takes 1 some or all of the non-long-range aircraft he has based in central China at that time, and then temporarily moves them to China. He must then use those aircraft in a normal, unsupported by other units attack on the enemy units located there. Oh. At the conclusion of the attack's resolution, including normal return fires, all surviving PRC aircraft are moved back. Now I'm going to do that. Op number 5, bomb Taiwan. Non-long range. So this is long range. This is a 216. That's how I say a TU 16, 216. It's long range, but let's see. I want a high ground rating, right? Ooh, they're all bad. Well, isn't that interesting? Anti-ground. Anti-surface. And is the SAG, US SAG here, considered a ground target or a surface target? target.